who's 19, Charlotte, who's 18, Georgia, who's 14, and Veronica, who's 5.
And is your wife present in the courtroom today?
She's right there.
Okay. And what's her name?
Erica.
I want to ask you some questions about how you got started out in media with your radio show. Okay? How old were you when you first felt that you wanted to be on the air, that you wanted to work in media?
When I was about 17, I really liked listening to talk radio. And I'd grown up with my dad on road trips listening to like Larry King when he was still on radio. And I really liked Larry King on radio and then also on CNN. And I also liked Howard Stern, thought he was funny. And I really wanted to be a talk show host.
And how did you take that desire to be a talk show host and those early influences, how did you translate that into action? How did you first get on the air?
I had been out of high school about a year and a half, 2 years, and I went down and took classes at the Access TV station here in Austin. One of the first places to ever have Access TV, and had one of the best systems.
He was popping off even back then, by the way. Like, again, much respect to Alex Jones as an artist. Like, as someone who is also a political broadcaster, I have to mention this one more time. But my man was fucking popping off even back then. He has always had incredible amounts of charisma.
So they had a lot of equipment and a lot of studio space. A lot of it was old, antiquated, but was still very useful. So I became self-taught with that equipment. And
was your question, my himbo? Wasn't there a lawsuit about Bohemian Grove in the early 2000s involving an underage boy? I'm sure I'm not imagining this. That could very well be the case. By the way, I'm not saying the Bohemian Grove is good. I'm just saying that they're not doing like satanic, a pedophilic, ritualistic sacrifice. Yeah. Oh, wow. A bunch of fucking conservative men who are in the closet getting together and doing gay shit. Oh, I can't believe that they would do like insane stuff to children too on top of that. No, like, they're conservatives. Of course they did some fucked up shit. They're people in positions of power. That is not surprising to me at all. I'm simply stating that it's not like... it's not like a center of power in the way that like Alex Jones claimed it was. You get it? Gay conservative equal pedophile? No, I'm saying conservative equals pedophile in a lot of cases. But I don't know why you fucking slapped on gay conservative onto it. Yeah, I mean, what's up? Do you have an issue with that take? It's confusing. Very confusing to think that like there's... What? Is this your first time on the broadcast? You know what I mean?
In about 94, 95, and then 95 started doing my own little call-in shows. And then those became pretty popular quickly. And so the phone rang and a DJ by the name of Sharkman, who had a national show that was managing the local station, 98.9, said, I think you should come in and do like a 3-hour radio show this Saturday and see what people think. And they had Howard Stern on their station. They had G. Ward Liddy, a bunch of other big hosts. They had some other big local hosts who couldn't light the phone lines up. And the first time I went in, they got about 100 calls the first night.
How old were you?
I think I was 21, 22 by then.
And what was the format of your early shows on Austin Public Access TV?
It wasn't as conspiratorial or political. There was some of that because there was other people doing those shows, and I already knew about that information. But it was just all over the map. It was just really call-in shows on different topics. Did variety shows like carved pumpkins on TV on Halloween, and have a guy come in with his pet monkey and it dances around. Just fun stuff. Because I also liked Johnny Carson growing up.
Did people like your show?
They did.
And did your show? I mean, it sounds sort of like almost like a.
What is Alex Jones' defense for this trial? I'm not gonna lie. he doesn't seem to have one. Like, we've been watching it since the jump, and he has not brought up anything. Like, the only thing he's done, in his defense strategy, the only thing he's done is further, like, solidify that he loves doing defamation on his broadcast. Like, there is no... It's very, very weird. He can't defend himself. He already lost. This is a damages trial. Okay, but like there's nothing here to defend. He's not doing a good job of trying to defend himself at all. Because, like, for everybody who says, like, well, can he just take the it's just entertainment route? He already tried and failed. Because no matter what, even if you're doing, like, the it's just entertainment route, you can still defame someone. And especially in the United States of America, it is very hard to win a defamation case in comparison to other places, right? And I talked about this extensively during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, which is why it was wild that Johnny Depp won that. But, like, what you shouldn't probably do is further defame the judge that is deliberating over your case in a defamation trial. And he's basically, it seems like he can't stop himself. Like, I don't know. I don't know what he could do, but I certainly know what he shouldn't do. And he's doing what he shouldn't be doing, which is calling the judge a pedophile. You know?
Wayne's World kind of thing.
I think Wayne's World's a good way to describe it.
And did it win any accolades?
It did. It won Best of Austin a few times in the newspaper and pretty much started getting written about, and even national coverage in about 2 years.
Really? And so tell us, you've told us already about Larry King and about Howard Stern. Who would you say influenced you artistically in the format and how you did your show then and became the man you are today?
I mean, really, I listened to Larry King a lot because my dad listened to him on the radio a lot when I was, from the time I was like 6, 7, I remember listening to Larry King. And then I'd watch him a lot of nights at home in junior high and high school. So I would say more than anybody, Larry King.
Okay. And did there come a time when, because of your success and having won this Listener's Choice Award or Viewer's Choice Award, that you were able to be syndicated?
Well, I won a couple of those. I don't think the syndication folks were even paying attention to that. I built a studio in a bedroom in my house because they wouldn't put the equipment in at the local station where I had the top ratings to syndicate it. And so I went home, got the equipment, had an engineer come set it up, and then called a syndication outfit and got a sponsor, and then I paid to put it on the satellite.
Tactical coughs disengaged. Yeah. Notice how, his voice is still coarse. That much is real. That's not fake. However, my man's tactical coughs have gone away. What's not going away is the top of the hour ad break. A lot of you have been in the chat trying to debate me. Okay? So I'm just going to say it. Top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, then all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. Okay? You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. But the top of the hour is upon us, and the ad break, much like Alex Jones's fat defamation payout, is unavoidable. Unless you subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Swamp Donkey 1496. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs.
And then I got about probably 60, 70 affiliates in about a month.
Thank you,
Went up
Anila.
to several hundred affiliates after that.
Can you describe for us what the setup was like? Was it in a spare bedroom?
It was.
Thank you,
And what kind of
Christine
furniture was in
Kusanagi.
It was a simple wooden desk and a microphone and a little mixer, and then a chair if I had a guest.
And what is syndication for those of us that don't know?
Instead of being on one station, it goes up at that time to a satellite. Now a lot of it's over the internet, and then that's beamed back down, and then other stations can pick it up.
And so you said you were syndicated on how many radio stations?
It fluctuated between 30 or 40 at first, and as much as over 200. I would say things that were politically not popular to talk radio, more left-wing things like being anti-war or things like that, and I would lose a bunch of stations, and I would gain more stations. But talk radio was mainly conservative. And so when 9/11 came around and I had questions, we lost 70% of our affiliates in 1 month because I didn't want to, attack all these foreign countries. But I still was steadfast and had that message. So that I got real popular with the left wing, but I wasn't trying to be left wing. I was trying to follow the right thing, even though it made me lose most of my radio stations, which is the issue of how.
That's so funny that like the one time where he had like actually good takes, he lost a lot of his syndication opportunities. That's so good.
I do what I think's right. Sometimes I'm wrong. I've been more right than wrong, but I don't do it.
Which, by the way, is yet another fucking instance where I am right. Remember, if you want to make money, go the Alex Jones route, especially if you're fucking, especially when it comes to commentary. There is significantly more money down the fucking right-wing reactionary rabbit hole. Okay? He said he did the right thing and got liberal listeners, implying he knows he does the bad thing to get conservatives. Yeah. When he was anti-Bush, yeah, he was. He was hugely anti-Bush. Back in the day, the conspiracy theorists, like in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, the conspiracy theorists were the leftists. There were a lot of fucking anti-Bush conspiracy theories out there. Shit was fire. There was a significantly more robust militant left as well. At least like on the internet.
For the monetary thing, I do it to tell the truth, or to try to tell the truth, and then the monetary comes with that because people can tell this guy's not reading off the script, and with that comes its own issues. But I'm not lying like the corporate media on purpose. That's the big difference.
And so let's focus in on this early period. What year did you get syndicated?
I syndicated myself in 1998.
And at that time, did you already have the show name, The Infowar?
Yes. It wasn't ever called Infowars. It was the Alex Jones Show.
Thank you, Blue Phoenix 0702, and thank you, Peachy Deserver, the 5 get the
You have to call the show your name, because that's how they do it with the ratings that were written in on little diaries. So to be on radio, you had to say the name of the show coming in and out. It was like TV for Nielsen ratings, so it was the Alex Jones Show.
Tell us about Infowars. How did the name Infowars come to be, and how did that business start?
Vic Freeland, who was an Air Force veteran, who worked in Air Force intelligence in Vietnam, he was the
Alex was also in a movie called Slacker by Richard Linklater. Richard Linklater featured Alex Jones heavily in his movies. Part of the reason I was going to mention that earlier, actually, I totally forgot. Richard Linklater, just like myself, was fascinated by Alex Jones. Like he fucking thought, yes, he's an Austin guy. Scanner Darkly as well. Yeah. So the thing is, a lot of people saw the broadcasting talent.
Deputy fire chief in Austin, and he was a listener, and he'd done some talk radio interviews. He'd been on some syndicated shows because of magazine articles he'd written, and he came to some of the events and he said, listen, you're really involved in an information war. That's that, and because all information is propaganda, whether it's true or not, it's called information war. And so you ought to try to get that URL. And he had a big old laptop. He said, look, it's available. Do you want Infowars.com? And so Vic Freeland got the site. He then, even in his spare time, he was still working with the fire department then, he built the basic site and stuff, then helped find me a volunteer or whatever at first. We didn't really have any money to then start updating the site a little bit every day. And that was in 1997.
The other, for the record, like part of this is also because like Alex Jones is an American. What do I always say about American politics? It is a mishmash of a bunch, a sea of different ideas that oftentimes contradict itself. So like he had a libertarian streak in him, but he also was an advocate for, you know, the most pro-police, most pro-cop president, Donald Trump. So like, it's always like this. And that's how it works. And he's united under bigotry for the most part. Like his ideology is a bunch of different ideas, oftentimes in contradiction from one another. It unites under the banner of the most reactionary position you can take.
So Infowars came from an Air Force intelligence term.
So you had the Alex Jones show that was being broadcast, and you also had Infowars at the same time.
Yes, I had a radio show. At the time, I was doing a local radio show. And then
I'm 50 and I watched the 90s Alex Jones via LimeWire. You were 8. Did you go back in your teens and research Alex Jones or later? I have 50-year-old Hasanabi heads. That's crazy. How do you know so much early Alex Jones? The Illuminati? Bro, I am fascinated with media. I'm a media demon, okay? When I say I've always been fascinated with Alex Jones, same with Joe Rogan, I mean it.
I was doing the syndicated one out of my house, and then I had a website that I could post articles on or links to say, look, this is on the...
Damn, bro, when I say I fucked your mom, and you motherfuckers say like, yo, my mom is dead, now I believe it. There's like hella 30, 40 plus people in here.
Go check it out on air. So it's kind of a way to make radio almost like TV, because the internet was starting to become more effective and more, where it actually worked. The word's not effective, where you could actually post stuff and do things. And so we could put things on there and show people what we were talking about.
Did you also start making, in order to support Infowars, did you also start making documentaries?
I did start making documentaries. In 1997, I made my first documentary, America Destroyed by Design, about the Great Reset that was coming and the different UN documents that were in it. And then I made more than 25 more films after that.
Why make the films?
Most talk show hosts would sell a coffee cup or a newsletter to fund themselves, and I wanted to build a larger news organization because I wanted to do more and I wanted to make documentaries. So I went out and made documentaries and used the money from that to make more documentaries, because that way you could show people what it was you were talking about in a format before there was really the internet. Because even though the internet was around, it was mainly text and pictures. In 96, 97, 8, 9, documentaries on VHS and then DVD was the way people interface with that.
And at the time, what was your main topic of interest that you wanted to explore through your documentaries, as well as through your radio show and your website?
The plan to cut off U.S. energy reserves that we're now experiencing, the plan to cut off all coal power generation, then gas, and the forced move on to renewables, but that it was in the documents. They didn't plan to even have those. It was a post-industrial program called Agenda 21 that George Herbert Walker Bush signed on to in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. And I read the plan, and it said we're building a post-industrial world. We're going to have a controlled demolition of civilization to force depopulation. And now that's mainline news. Bill Maher called for...
I just want to point something out here, but like Joe Rogan famously said, Alex Jones is right about a lot of things.
Depopulation last Friday night.
In addition to your documentaries, are you also an author?
I am, yes.
How many books have you written?
I've written 2 and contributed to more than 20.
We'll talk about your latest book later. Let's move forward a little bit. In 2001, what, if anything, happened with you and your program at YouTube?
Say that again, please.
Did you have a series of videos that were very successful on YouTube in the early 2000s?
Before YouTube came around, in I think 2004, and then it was out of some guy's garage in San Francisco, got bought by Google around that time. We were actually putting out videos ourselves that we were streaming ourselves, but it became too expensive, so we had to stop. We were doing that by 2000, 2001. And I mean, these are all the technical things, but then Google Video came around, and we had videos on there with you know,
Is the 2018 CPAC the time when Alex Jones fought Jank? I'm realizing that 2018 CPAC is when he made the most money, right? Isn't that literally when he tried to fight Jank? Dude, I fucking fuck this world, bro. I hate it. I hate it so much. I literally fucking hate it so much. Yeah, it is. The most money he ever made, he made after he tried to fucking... after he crashed the Young Turks stage.
Is Alex Jones and a guy significantly worse than him entered the stage here.
This is the last time Jimmy Dore was cool, by the way, when he spat in Alex Jones's face. Oh, it's 2016 during the RNC. No, never mind. It's 2016 RNC. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, thank God. Thank fucking God. Yeah, 2016 RNC, man. Shit was fucking insane. The reason why I was looking at 2018 CPAC is because that's when he made 800 grand on multiple days that week. Infowars was making $800,000 a day for multiple days. Oh, Alex Jones's wife is also using apparently the Sandy Hook text message leak. Alex Jones' ex-wife, Kelly Jones here, and I'm going to subpoena this data. Won a jury, lost my kids for blowing the whistle on Infowars. Subpoena request will go out today. Hasan is triggered by other political commentators making more money than him. Dude, you are so fucking dumb. There are a million. Every political commentator on the planet that is on the right makes more money than me. Okay? Every single political commentator on the right makes more money than I do. Okay? Tim Pool makes more money than me. Ben Shapiro makes more money than me. I think you are misunderstanding my point. I am incredibly comfortable with the amount of money I make. Okay? Please. The point I'm trying to make is these guys make a killing off of talking like what they're saying is unprofitable. Conservatives talk about how their rhetoric is too dangerous, far too dangerous, and that they're being punished for these crazy ideas that they're putting forward, these truths